And now, let's meet the players from the team from Brazil. Y ahora demos la bienvenida a los jugadores del equipo de Brasil. Con el número 4, Dos Santos. El número 5 es Carlos Ferreira. Con el número 6, Eric da Silva. El número 7 es Cristiano Clemente. Con el número 8, Paulo dos Santos. El número 9, Luciano da Silva. Con el número 10, Clevin Silva. El número 11 es Nascimento. Con el número 12, Amaury Viana. El número 13, Leandro de Miranda. El número 14, Marcos Silva. Y el número 15, Junior da Silva. El entrenador del equipo de Brasil es el señor Sileno da Silva. And now, ladies and gentlemen, the national anthem of the United States of America, el himno nacional de los Estados Unidos de América. And now the national anthem of Brazil, el himno nacional de Brasil.
Day number 4 of coverage from the 2019 Parapan American Games from Lima, Peru, as we get you set for wheelchair basketball's preliminary Group B action. The United States getting set to take on Brazil. A very interesting one so far for the United States. They have been dominant thus far. They kicked things off on Saturday, taking on Puerto Rico, a 106-35 victory there. And then yesterday, Sunday, taking on Peru, 114-14 win, led by Matt Scott, who has been one of their biggest stars throughout this tournament. Our coach, look at Coach Ron Likens, just to take you through the rest of the schedule for the United States. They've got Brazil coming up obviously today, and then it's on to the quarterfinals. After that, it'll be the semifinals on Friday, and on Saturday, the gold and bronze medal match. Full day of coverage coming up for you today here on TeamUSA.org. Lots going on. A lot of team sports today. So you've got basketball versus Brazil. That kicks off our coverage. We will also have coverage from the pool. We'll get you out to the track for some action there. And then we'll have both semifinals for wheelchair rugby. Semifinal number 1, the Canadians will be taking on Brazil. Semifinal number 2, the United States will take on Colombia. And then we'll have women's wheelchair basketball, the United States taking on Peru to finish off the evening for you. I want to remind you to download the Team USA app today and make sure you follow your favorite athletes on their road to Tokyo 2020. And if you're looking for another way to find a way to rep that Team USA gang, go to teamusashop.com, where every purchase helps support your Team USA athletes. Total of 41 states represented by the United States on the roster. 32 of them from the state of California. 16 sports for the United States throughout this Parapan Am Games. Certainly glad to have you along as Team USA looks to continue their dominant fashion. Certainly something to point out in their victory over Peru yesterday as you get a look at Matt Scott on the bench. He normally comes in towards the second half of the game, is the dominance and the passing. The United States has been very good with passing, and their defense has been solid. Brazil might give them a little bit of a push, but the United States should come out real quick and real early. All right, we are underway. Brazil already doing a nice job of working the ball around the perimeter, just outside the key, and the United States defense running a touch. Serio picking up. USA and Brazil tied at 2. U.S. good with the ball already. The United States wearing the dark jerseys. Brazil in the light. So good offense for the United States right away, and they start things off with that passing that we're used to seeing from them. Smart playing around the perimeter, baiting them in. United States likes to start things off at the wing. You're going to see a lot of their action down and close by the paint. Michael Pay for 2. First is good. He is 100% on his free throws coming into this match. Pay's second in as well, and he remains perfect from the charity stripe. The United States builds a 4-2 lead and head into defense, so that will be out on Brazil
Out of bounds, Brazil.
United States will inbound.
For the United States.
And a nice turnover as they get the ball at the half court here and pick it up. Serio, top of the key. Down to that right side, and from just outside the paint at the elbow, the United States, money for two.
John Bowie of the United States.
John Bowie, number 33, finds the hoop for a 6-2 lead with 8:38 to go in the first. 4 quarters played in wheelchair basketball. And now the United States goes to work for the first time essentially defensively. Off the glass and into the hands of the United States' Serio. Cristiano Clemente, big body, got himself right in front of the paint there, had a good shot, but bricks it off the rim and out.
First foul on number 8 from Brazil.
So Michael Pay will advance it to Serio. Serio will be keen to set up the offense. Gets it down low, and the United States doing work in tight. Foul coming up. Brian Bell right where he's supposed to be, trying to get something happening there, but a little bit of aggressive defense by Brazil early on. So Brian Bell will shoot 2. Birmingham, Alabama native. First one no good. He lost his leg at the age of 10 due to a train accident. And as soon as he was done with rehabilitation, wanted to get back to his favorite sport, so he figured out a way. Basketball became wheelchair basketball. United States up 7-2 here in the first quarter.
Timeout is called, Brazil.
So Brazil will call a timeout, take a moment. Of women's wheelchair basketball coming up for you later on today. For the women, a lot at stake. They would need to place in the top 2 in order to qualify for the 2020 games in Tokyo, so a little bit of pressure on them. That team has been very successful and playing well, currently undefeated. Little pressure on the men's U.S. rugby team later today. We'll have that semifinal match coming up for you. They must win gold in order to qualify for the 2020 games. Men's wheelchair basketball, a little less pressure. They need to place in the top 3 so they can qualify for the semifinal if they win, or on the medals day if they were to go to the bronze and win bronze. Keep you posted on how all of that starts to play out as we go. Timeout over. United States for 3. What a pass, and he makes it rain. That's a little downtownish. What a beautiful shot by Ryan Niesfender. Brian Bell with the outlet pass, and Niesfender with the rainbow for the 3 in the United States, up 10-5. Brazil trying to get the offense going, and with plays like that, you're in good shape. Brazil in the white, the United States in the blue. Top of the key, and the passing for Brazil starting to work in their favor. Another from outside. This one will brick into the hands of the U.S., and they'll come back the other way. Michael Pay, all the way down low for Serio. He'll try one from 3-point range, and it won't go. Brazil now back the other way in the hands of Marcos Silva. Over to Dos Santos. Dishes to Ferreira. And the pass that was intended for Marcos Silva lands in the bench, so the United States gets the ball back.
U.S. takes out on the side.
A little kiss to the arm of Cristiano Clemente, who drained that 3 for Brazil. Now the U.S. trying to answer back, up by 2. Long pass, just to the outside. U.S. fading away and will try the shot. That'll brick into the hands of Brazil, and they'll come back the other direction on a fast break. They'll slow things down. 3 defensive rebounds for Brazil, only 1 for the United States. Brazil already cycling the ball well. They'll put it up for 2, and it'll brick off and back into the hands of number 5, Carlos Ferreira. Now Marco Silva way outside the top of the key. Up for 2. Nothing, the U.S. rebounds. Michael Pay tries for 2, and it bricks away. Brazil already setting up better against the United States than we've seen from Peru and Puerto Rico. A closer start than usual here for the United States. Potential little adversity to kick things off as a foul. So Brazil will shoot 2.
2 free throws for Marcos Silva.
Silva from the free throw line. First is good. Shooting at about 50%. Good for 2 there. Tied at 7 between the United States and Brazil. Brazil 2 for 2 on their free throws. The United States 3 for 4. Now the United States sets up. Top of the key. Back to the wing.
2 points for number 11.
And 2 points for Steven Serio. 31-year-old. Averaging about 8.5 points a game. Good for 2 there, and the United States back up 9-7. Under 5 to play in the first. Brazil for 3 more from the outside. Cristiano Clemente trying to make it rain again. U.S. back on offense. Both of these teams executing well. Right in front, Bell tries to make something happen, can't do it. U.S. picks up the board. Now it's Pay for 2, and that'll count. 11-7, and the U.S. starting to build their lead. Michael Pay with a real good look at it. Finds the rim. Toilet bowls in a little bit, but he'll take it. Tried for the bank shot earlier, just couldn't get it to go.
Out of bounds, Brazil, possession, USA.
U.S. with the rock, down to the right. That's Steven Serio. Works it to the inside, waits on the shot. Over to Gouge, and that'll be an out.
Falta personal del número 5 de Brasil, Carlos Ferreira.
It's going to be out on Brazil. That's a nice block.
Carlos Ferreira.
Gouge in good shape, and Ferreira out on him, so the U.S. will get the ball back.
Into the game for Brazil.
Gouge in perfect position for a shot there, but Ferreira just good on the man on defense. 3:37 to go. 11-7, the U.S. starting to build a lead, their biggest so far of the game. Brazil makes a substitution. They take out their 3-point shooter. Nice passing and a beautiful setup. The United States for 2 more, and Steven Serio racking them up today as it's 13-7 now for the United States. Game starting to slip away on Brazil a bit here. They were buoyed by that 3 they had earlier and now running around a little offensively. Ferreira with the big block last time, bricks it down into the hands of Bell, and the U.S. comes back the other direction. Bill with some good moves, gets into the paint, throws it into the center. Serio waiting for it. Thought he had it, didn't. He'll wait. Now Pay. Beautiful cross-court pass over to Serio for 2 more. And the United States up 15-7. Matt Scott. Statement from the bench. U.S. shooting at 50% with 2:30 to go. Shot clock going to be an issue. They get it off before. Santos fires it, looking for a foul. Wants a hold.
2 points for Brazil.
Not going to get it. He will pick up the 2, was looking for the and 1. 15 for the United States. Serio down low, and 2 more for him. 17-9, and the U.S. answers right back on 2 points for Brazil. Good defense up top by the United States. This is what they did against Peru and against Puerto Rico. Kept them boxed out, way outside of the key. Forced them to take those tough shots. U.S. boarding well, picks it up. 1:38 to go in the quarter. The United States still on their way to dominance here against Brazil. Oh, that's a reach in. They'll call that. So the Brazilians will pick up a foul here.
Personal foul on number 8.
That'll be a personal foul for sure on Bell.
Brian Bell of the United States, that's his first. In the game for the United States, number 6, Matthew Lima.
Brazil now with a better opportunity to set it up, and they fire for 3. Won't happen. The rebound won't go either. Looking for something in front. They might call Bell here. Bell's looking like, what did I do? 17-9. Brazil closing the gap a little bit here, but the United States still with the pressure. No foul. The United States will inbound. Michael Pay take his time to advance. A minute to go in the first. Michael Pay
3 points.
for 3. Wasn't sure if he got that or not, but yeah, let it go just outside the line, and a beautiful shot. Rainbows are in. 20-9, the United States leads with just under a minute to go in the first.
Foul is on number 5, Michael Pay of the United States, his first. Primera falta personal. El número 5.
Call a foul on Michael Pay, a personal. Brazil will inbound. Wheel around the top. U.S. defense holding them outside the key. They get one down low to Dos Santos, and that will find the light of day to make it 20-11. Brazil still hanging around. United States answers right back with 2 more. Serio has been brilliant, so has Michael Pay early on. We have yet to see Scott come in, and when he does, Brazil will have their hands full. An uncontested 2 as it's a huge 3. Brazil just sort of hanging around right now. Silva finds 3, and it's 22-14 with 0.1 on the clock as the United States looking to remain perfect through preliminary play, but Brazil not going away. Brian Bell picks up his 2nd personal foul. Not quite in foul trouble yet, but they'll keep an eye on him. And that'll bring it into the first quarter with the United States leading, but in a tight one against Brazil. Second quarter underway. Glad to have you along for the 2019 Parapan Am Games from Lima, Peru. Day 4 of action, and it's men's wheelchair basketball preliminary play. 22-16, the United States up on Brazil right now, but Brazil not going away. Bad news for them, Matthew Scott in the mix now.
2 points for Serio.
Serio picks up 2 more, and keep an eye on Matthew Scott, number 9 for the United States in blue, excuse me. Brazil with it, far side. They try for 3. That'll brick into the hands of Serio, and he'll bring it back the other way for the United States on a fast break, trying to get the offense set up quickly. Serio jukes in, works to the top of the paint, puts it in the hand of Scott. He gets spun around and will go down. The ball will go out. Take another look. Great pass to Scott. He just sort of spun around on his own. Call a personal foul, though, on 8 from Brazil. And Scott will shoot for 2.
First free throw is good for Scott.
78% on the free throws for Scott. (25-16), the United States leading Brazil with 9:05 to go in the second. Dos Santos. Marcos Silva. Over to Viana, and that'll be knocked out by the United States.
Out of bounds, United States, possession Brazil.
Santos will start off the possession for Brazil. U.S. defense starting to get stodgy. And shot clock trouble for Brazil. They'll throw one up that won't work. Serio the other way for the U.S. as they set up the offense. Scott from below the net.
2
points for the United States, 27-16.
Matthew Scott.
Great play. Nice assist by Turek. 4 seconds on the shot clock for Scott. Up outside the 3-point line at the point. It won't go. Sanchez back for Brazil. To Santos.
Foul is on number 16 of the USA, Parapan Jennifer. And into the game for Brazil, number 5, Carlos Ferreira.
Personal foul for Parapan Jennifer. Santos setting things up. He'll go down low, and it's 2 for Brazil. 27-18. Santos has been setting it up from the point. They like to go down to that short corner. What a move by the U.S. That's Joshua Turek trying to make something happen inside.
2 points, the USA, number 16.
His won't go. But Parapan Jennifer picks up 2. Now Scott with an interception. Jennifer back the other way. Up for 2 and good. And a 4-point swing for the United States. Makes it 31-18. Brazil will call a timeout and regroup as the United States finds 4 points real quickly. Trayvon Jennifer with 4 quick points. Edinburgh, Pennsylvania native. Born with congenital amputation, was a successful track athlete in his early years and a top wrestler in high school. But really fell in love with wheelchair basketball back in '92 with Team Air Capital in Washington, D.C. He was a 3-year captain, 2-time All-American for Edinburgh men's wheelchair basketball team, and he also played professional basketball for 2 years overseas in France. He's a Washington guy, so you know he's rooting for the Wizards and the Redskins. All right, Brazil will try to stem the bleeding now as the United States grows their lead. Sanchez sets up offensively. U.S. key to let him work inside. This shot will bank off the glass into the hands of Scott. United States into the paint. Scott setting it up to Trayvon Jennifer. Brazil gets a hand on him though. Trayvon Jennifer hopes to become a lawyer ultimately one day. .6:32 to go in the second. United States up 31-18.
Into the game for Brazil, number 4, Don Juan dos Santos, and number 15, Júlio.
Substitutions for Brazil. Herrera from 3-point range, and Brazil finding the arc. It's their third 3-point shot of the game. 9 points for them from outside the paint. 31-21, the lead now 10 for the United States. Brazil 3 for 7, the United States 1 for 4 on 3-point attempts. United States winners against Puerto Rico on Saturday, 106-35. On Sunday against Peru, 114-14. So the U.S. used to some considerable margins of victory. In a tight one right now as Scott finds 2 more to make it 33-21. Ferreira, he goes low with it. Pass across, intercepted by Scott. No problem for number 9. 2 more points to make it 35-21, and the dominance of 9 continues for the United States. Averaging about 19 points a game. 83% from the field for Scott. 5 to go in the second. United States up 35-21. Need to finish in the top 3. Sanchez boxed out at the wing. Manages to dish the rock off to Dos Santos for 2. (35-23). Ball comfortable in the hands of Scott. Pass to Trayvon Jennifer for 2 in the paint, and the United States up 37-23. Baseball pass all the way up, and Brazil now trying to find some daylight. That'll be a personal foul.
Foul is on number 4, Juan dos Santos of Brazil.
That'll be on Dos Santos of Brazil. Let's look at Matt Scott. U.S. gets the ball back. United States works to set it up. Serio to Scott. Scott for three. Oh, yes. Money, money, money. Matthew Scott for three. And the United States lead grows. 50% three-point shooting for Matthew Scott. United States hasn't been brilliant today in that category, but Scott. That's a personal foul on Scott. Not sure where that came from. 40-23. Brazil trying for three. Outlet pass to Scott. He'll wheel back and wait for help. Scott at the point. Nice pass off to Trayvon Jennifer. It's a Serio. That'll break into the hands of Brazil. Another brick and a turnover. The United States back the other way. Jennifer to the hands of Scott. Scott will work it low for Serio. 3 points.
3 points for Matthew Scott, number 9 of the United States.
Matthew Scott with another three from way outside, and the United States up 43-23. The lead now 20 for them. Ferreira, inside three-point range, picks up two.
2 points, Juan Santos, number 4.
Just by a little bit. Thinks he thought he had the three. Scott again at the point. To Serio. Down to Jurek.
Foul is on number 13 of Brazil. Leandro de Miranda, his first.
Foul on Miranda. 2:03 to go in the second. The U.S. up 43-25.
States, number 2, Jacob Williams, and number 42, Aaron Good.
Kuj inbounds it to Jennifer for two, and the United States lead is 20 again, 45-25.
Of the USA.
Ferreira. We'll hold on to it at the key. Nothing. Beautiful rebound by Brazil, but then a turnover in the U.S. the other way. Kuj out of range to get that pass. Brazil in front. They throw it up off the glass and back into the hands of the United States. Now it will be number 4, Turek, trying to make something happen, but it'll be knocked out and away. A nice defensive block by Brazil. Huge defensive effort for Ferreira. He's had 2 or 3 real good blocks from inside the paint. A steal at half court. Turek in, off the glass, and the bank shot connects for two, 47-25.
Of the USA.
Easy two for De Silva in tight. 47-27, 30 seconds to go in the half. The lead 20 for the United States. Serio from the point. Down low to Williams. Williams goes to Jennifer, who looks for the two. Can't find it. He gets knocked down. He'll get back up to his feet.
Falta del número 9 de Brasil, Luciano da Silva. Y Estados Unidos saca de fondo.
U.S. inbounds. Williams to Gouch. 10 seconds to go. Back up to Williams. Down to Jennifer. Jennifer tries to throw it into the paint for Turk, but couldn't get there. 3 seconds to go. Brazil with one last chance at it. It'll throw it up, and it'll airball away to end the half. 47-27, the United States leading over Brazil in a tight one so far. A victory against Puerto Rico on Saturday was 106-35. On Sunday versus Peru, 114-14. So the United States in a tight one. It's halftime in men's basketball. The United States leading Brazil 47-27. We'll be back with the second half for you shortly. Don't go anywhere. You're watching the 2019 Parapan Am Games from Lima, Peru on teamusa.org. Before we say goodbye, we'll take a look at those stats. The United States at 56% in terms of field goals. Free throws, the United States at 80%, but Brazil dominating in that category at 100%. Best performers so far, take a look at the points for Scott. 13 in dominating fashion. Serio has been good as well, and in terms of rebounds, Bell, a beast, but Silva doing the work for Brazil on that side. Hey, make sure you share, like, and follow at Team USA on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram for exclusive behind-the-scenes access and up-to-the-minute news on your favorite Team USA athletes. It's 47-27 at the half from the 2019 Parapan Am Games in Lima, Peru. Second half coming up shortly.
I like to move it, move it. I like to move it, move it.
47-27 to start the second half. The United States leading Brazil in preliminary action of men's wheelchair basketball from Lima, Peru at the 2019 Parapan Am Games. Glad to have you along. I'm Nick Gismondi, everybody. 2 more quarters for you as the United States looks to finish up the preliminary round 3-0. Victories already against Puerto Rico and Peru. United States in the dark blue, Brazil in the white, and it'll be Jennifer right away with an opportunity that'll brick off and away to start the third quarter.
La falta personal es del número 12 de Brasil, Amaury Diana.
Trayvon Jennifer, Huntingtown High School, Edenborough, Pennsylvania. First free throw will find the netting, 48-27. He has been good from the stripe. 49-27, the United States out in front of Brazil as they continue to push the lead. Most points they have had scored on them is 35, and that was Puerto Rico in their first game on Saturday. Brazil a little aggressive with the pass on the offense, and the United States will come back the other way. Serio posts up, takes the shot. He'll dish it down low, and the United States rebounds a couple of times, and it will be Bell who finds the 2 points to make it 51-27. Brazil will inbound. It's an offensive foul. (51-27). U.S. gets the ball back. Serio will start it off. Now it's topside for Williams to Bell. Back to Williams for the layup and banking in, 53-27.
2 points for number 2 from the United States, Jacob Williams. 2 puntos, el número 2.
Makes it rain for 2. Amaury Diana keeping Brazil in it, 53-29. United States just a few points away here from really putting the pressure on Brazil. Down for Bell for 2. Yes.
2 points.
55-29. And the U.S. starting to run away with things. Bell uncontested. Matt Scott on the bench. Brazil for 2. That'll bounce off the glass and into the hands of Serio. Serio to Bell, to Jennifer. Off the glass and rebounded away. Brazil will get the ball. It's a long pass by Dos Santos. Santos, keen to wait at half court for some help. Baseball pass. Down to De Miranda. It'll be turned over, and the U.S. back the other direction with it. Jennifer streaking off the glass and away, nothing there. Tried to throw it up for 3. Off the glass and no good.
Foul is on number 11, Steven Serio, his first. And substitution for the United States.
So Serio will pick up a foul. They'll substitute him out. That is his first of the game. Scott will come in. Brazil will shoot for 2. Miranda from the line. The first one misses. 73% from the charity stripe. Second one, no good either. They'll have one more. That'll count. 55-30. And now Matt Scott back in. Look at the energy. Matt Scott dominant in his setup and performance. Beautiful passing play. That was all Scott setting it up. Huge assist for him. Jennifer will pick up the 2 points, but a beautiful passing play from Scott to Jacob Williams. 57-30, the United States extends the gap between the score Brazil. Now it's Santos at the key. Works it over to the wing. A shot for 3 from the hands of number 13, de Miranda. Rebounded by Brazil. Santos again from the key. Inside 3-point range. Bricks into the hands of Scott. Quarterbacking things for the United States. Tries to go low into the paint for Jennifer. Another personal foul.
Foul is on number 12 from Brazil.
That's Viana. His second.
Now
they're going to take Viana out as he gets himself into foul trouble. That will bring back in Cristiano Clemente, who was good from 3-point range to start this match. So the U.S. with the ball. That's Jacob Williams, number 2, to start things off. Works around the outside, cuts in, and breaks away. It'll go out on the U.S. 6:06 to play in the third. Up by 27. Santos starts things off for Brazil. Gets himself to the point. Runs into trouble. Ferreira. There's the play. Tries to get it down into the hands of Cristiano Clemente. Had the shot, but just couldn't do it. It'll rim out. And Scott with a beautiful dish to Bell for 2. 59-30.
Falta el ataque del número 13, Leandro de Miranda. Su segunda falta personal.
U.S. will go the other way with it after a foul to end that point. Scott has it. Over to Williams. Back to Scott at the point for 3. Off and away. Scott will get it back. Just inside the high post, Scott fires for 2, finds it.
And the basket is good.
61-30. And 1 for Scott.
Number 5, Carlos Ferreira, his second. 1 free throw for Matthew Scott.
53 points, and Scott makes it good. That'll make it 62-30.
Three-point play for Matthew Scott with the basket and the free throw.
A nice three-point play for Scott as he continues to dominate. Ferreira in deep. Jennifer with the block. Williams on the break. To Jennifer, to Scott, and two bounces into the hands of Brazil. Nothing for the U.S. there. Clemente trying to set it up for Brazil. U.S. defense strong at half court. Brazil not even able to get that anywhere near the top of the key. They're going to look for a foul. Santos hoping. Ends up coming in on them. Santos is like, no, I wanted the foul. Didn't think he fouled. Santos not happy. That's 3 for him now. So Scott again from the stripe. Can't believe that one didn't go. He's as surprised as we are. Matthew Scott's second off the rim and away. And two very rare misses for Matt Scott. Three-year captain, two-time All-American for Edinburgh men's wheelchair basketball team. And the U.S. will find 3 big points out of the hands of Williams. Brazil all alone down low, rainbows that right over the rim for an air ball. The U.S. maintains a 62-30 lead. Scott for 2. Yes, sir.
2 points for Matthew Scott.
Nice little lob bank shot. Off the rim and in. 65-30. Baseball pass from Ferreira to Clemente.
Substitution for the United States. Cambio del equipo de los Estados Unidos. Entra el número 6, Matthew Lesperance.
U.S. making some substitutions. He'll throw this one up, and Scott will pick up the rebound. Yes, sir, for Jennifer. Finds another 2, 67-30, United States with 3:10 to go. Make it 69, and the United States starting to run away with it. Ferreira goes all the way across. And a little no-look behind the back for Dos Santos finds the rim in the hands of Scott on the rebound. Jennifer from just outside the elbow for 2 more to make it 71-30.
2 points for Trevon Jennifer, United States.
Ferreira at the point for 2, won't go. Dos Santos gobbles up the rebound inside the paint, can't make it, but Clemente can from the far side,
2 points.
right outside the post. Clemente been very good from the low post area. Bell trying to get something going now as the U.S. back on offense. It's Scott with the ball in his hands. He'll go all the way across for Bell. (71-32), United States. Brazil with 2 shots at it. United States rebounds well. And Williams will outlet it to Scott.
para el número 2 de Estados Unidos.
Jacob Williams with 2 more. Inside the paint, Scott's money. Santos. Down to the low post, back up to the point for Clemente. Clemente works her in. Fires it off the rim and away. Tried to get that shot in from the high point, but it just won't drop for him right now. Clemente started off so hot and has really cooled off towards the third of this game. 73-32, the United States now up on Brazil. It was tight to start. Santos with 3 fouls. He'll take a break. Williams starting things off for the United States to Bell. Bell will throw it up, trying to pick up 2. Knocked away, Brazil recovers. 30 to go in the third. There'll be a foul on Brazil. U.S. will get the ball back. 27.6 to go. The U.S. getting the ball in the backcourt. Scott to Williams. Williams at the high point. Goes to the wing for Scott. Throws it right into the key, and a beautiful 2 for number 8. Big surprise as the points continue for Brian Bell. 75-32. Brazil tries to fast break it the other way as the quarter comes to a conclusion, and Dawn dos Santos unable to find 2 more points. The United States continues the dominance as they are rolling through the preliminary round. 106-35, a victory over Puerto Rico. 114-14 yesterday against Peru, and in a good one right now against Brazil, where we've played 3 quarters in the United States, up 75-32. Don't forget that you can download the Team USA app today and follow your favorite athletes on their road to Tokyo. Much more coming up to you from the 2019 Parapan Am Games. When we conclude men's wheelchair basketball, we'll have swimming, track and field action for you. And then later on today, semifinal number 1, Canada and Brazil in wheelchair rugby. Semifinal number 2, the United States and Colombia in wheelchair rugby. And some women's basketball, the United States taking on Peru. Fourth quarter coming up.
Y comienza el último cuarto de este juego entre Brasil y
Back with you in the fourth quarter, set to begin. The United States leading right now in dominant fashion, as they are getting kind of used to. Been a fantastic event and outing for Scott again. He has been brilliant from the field. United States in the dark blue, Brazil wearing the white. U.S. picking up right where they left off. It was Williams with the nice pass across to Niesvender. We'll airball that down. Niesvender from Lebanon, Pennsylvania. Formerly played soccer at the University of Illinois as well. And Brazil will find the net for two. 34 now for them to the 75 from the United States. Sanchez to Gomez. U.S. back on offense. Williams with it. Works it into the high point. And it's 2 more points for number 5, Michael Pay. The United States up 77 now. 34 for Brazil. U.S. back to it. Here comes the defensive stronghold. Nice block by Pay. Top of the key. Well done. Pass still manages to get low. U.S. has to sit and watch as number 9, Luciano da Silva, finds the net for 2. So Brazil starting to put a little bit of pressure on here, at least finding the net. 77-36. Jorge Sanchez for the United States with the pass low for Williams, who tries the lob and doesn't connect. Silva. Over to Silva for 2. And nothing. 77-36, the U.S. Williams with it. Off to the wing. Tries to go low in front, looking for a foul. Jorge Sanchez gets knocked down.
Offensive foul called on Jorge Sanchez.
But they'll end up giving it to him instead. Take another look. Sanchez comes in. Tries to hit the brakes. I didn't see anything there, but okay. That will also be a foul.
Falta del número 7 de Estados Unidos. Es su primera falta, Ryan Nieswender.
Nieswender, the offender this time. Brazil will get the rock. Inbounds it to Marcos Silva. He wheels around on the wing. Doesn't have too much for options. Finds a little daylight, airballs that to the hands of Jennifer. Trayvon Jennifer to Williams. Williams cuts to the paint, fires it up, and picks up 2.
2 points, number 2, Jacob Williams of the United States. 2 puntos para el número 2, Jacob Williams, Estados Unidos.
Great play. Caught Glebe Silva looking. Silva spun the wrong way. Williams took advantage. Sanchez picks up 2 points, 79-36, 6:30 to go. Back up for Williams. Nieswender and Williams play catch. Michael Pay in the mix now as well. And it's 2 more for Ryan Nieswender, who averages around 9 points a game. (81-39), 6 to play in the 4th. Stolen away by Jennifer, but can't get a handle on it, and it slides out.
Balón fuera, Estados Unidos. Posesión Brasil.
(16) Trayvon Jennifer also enjoys hunting, fishing, camping, spending time with family and friends. Sanchez with it for Brazil, and Jennifer with the big steal. 8 for the United States now, only 3 for Brazil. And it comes the other direction. Jennifer puts it into the hands of number 1, Jorge Sanchez, and it's 2 more points for the United States. Beautiful play by Jennifer. Picks up the steal and then the assist. U.S. up 83-39 with 5:30 to go.
Falta personal de Michael Pay, número 5 de Estados Unidos, su segunda falta personal. 2 tiros libres para Marcos Silva.
Foul on Pay. Sanchez will shoot 2. First one is no good. Second one, also no good. Came in shooting 63% from the charity stripe. 0 for tonight. Michael Pay. Down low for Sanchez. Sanchez wheeling around at the low post. Up for Niesfender, and 2 more for the United States. Just inside three-point range, 85-39, under 5 to go in the fourth. Brazil will put it up for 2 on the bank shot, but it'll brick off the rim back into United States possession. Williams trying to find an outlet. Does in the hands of Sanchez. Sanchez speaks Spanish for the United States. Team USA actually includes 31 athletes who speak Spanish. Sanchez being one of them. The 2019 roster for the United States features 114 Paralympians, including 67 Paralympic medalists, 36 Paralympic champions. Several of those on this basketball team. Trayvon Jennifer, a 2-time medalist, has a gold and a bronze. So does Scott. A lot of experience on this men's wheelchair basketball team, and it's showing. They stayed composed early on when it was tight. Were patient. The United States sound defensively as the shot clock coming to an end. Williams has got to throw it up. Gets it off in time. It'll roll off the rim and back into the hands of Brazil. Showed that patience early when it was close. Stayed right around 2 and 4 points for quite some time. Brazil was answering every attempt the United States put up, and now the U.S. has managed to grow themselves a lead, 85-39. However, 39 points, the most that the United States have given up. This is just edging past what Puerto Rico did to them on Saturday in their opening match, a 35-point effort from Puerto Rico. Sanchez will shoot alone. 4 team fouls for the United States, none for Brazil. Sanchez unable to do anything there. The score remains 85-39. The foul on the U.S. came after the shot clock expiration. It's a team foul. U.S. gets the ball back. Inbounded from the baseline. Williams at the low post, couldn't do anything there. The ball will squirt out, and an opportunity for Brazil. Moderately uncontested, and the bank shot is good for number 14, Marcos Silva. U.S. back with it. 9 steals for them, 4 for Brazil, and Niesfender with a chance.
Falta en ataque del número 1 de Estados Unidos, Jorge Sánchez. Su tercera falta personal. Third personal foul, Jorge Sánchez, number 1.
Jorge Sanchez with 3 personal fouls. So Brazil with the ball back. We'll slide right, that's Sanchez. Off to the wing. Wheels back to the high point. Shot comes from the opposite wing and won't go. Williams back with it for the U.S. Posts up at the high point. Turns. And a nice dish down low to Sanchez. Sanchez tries to work it into that short corner. And throw it up for 2, and an additional few for the United States. 3 minutes to go in the fourth. Jennifer having himself a day. Sanchez for Brazil. Off to the wing. US 58%. That has trailed off through that first 2 quarters in that first half. The United States was down near 80%. Now Jennifer into the paint. Wheels back to the high post, and now it comes off to the wing. Back up top again to the key. Hay picks it up, works inside. Jennifer all by himself under the basket, throws it up and nothing there. Here's Sanchez again for Brazil. To Silva at the high post for 2, and it airballs into the hands of Jorge Sanchez. Jacob Williams for the United States down to Pay. Pay for 2. Bank shot no good. They'll blow the whistle. Little help to get number 4, Duan Dos Santos, back up onto his wheels. Brazil will get the ball back. 87-41, they inbounded at half court. Under 2 to go in the fourth. Preliminary action as the United States will wrap up their preliminary Group B play undefeated. They will look ahead to the quarterfinals on Wednesday. On Friday, the semifinals and the gold and bronze medal matches for men's wheelchair basketball coming up on Saturday. Michael Pay for 2, won't go, 87-43. Silva for 2 from just inside the paint for Brazil to give them 45. .70 seconds to go in this one. 87-45. The United States looking in good shape. Silva with another break, looking for 2 more to capitalize on the 2 he just scored. He'll go cross with it. Viana will throw it up for 2, but that won't count.
Foul call número 16, falta personal del número 16 de los Estados Unidos, Trevon Jennifer, su segunda.
Trevon Jennifer picks up another foul with under a minute to go here in the fourth. Silva will shoot 2. A little charity stripe action in the first one. In and out. The second bricks off the rim, and the rebound will be picked up by Jennifer, who committed the foul. 50 to go, the United States up 87-45. Williams to Pay. Beautiful pass back to Williams, to Sanchez, to Niesvender. Trevon Jennifer tries for 2. But it will be Silva now on the foul. Trevon Jennifer will shoot 2 from the charity stripe. Jennifer's first misses. His second. 25 points, 55% from the field for Jennifer. Not so good on the free throw line on that last attempt. 0 for 2. 27 to go. The United States on their way to wrapping up pool play 3-0. Perfect for the U.S. De Silva just inside the paint. Tries for 2. Drains it. 87-47. The difference now 40 with 12 to go on the clock. Nice patience by De Silva. 1 to go, and that'll bring a conclusion to it. The United States with a 40-point victory, 87-47, over Brazil, and a great performance by that man right there, number 16, Trayvon Jennifer.
Congratulations to the United States.
Brazil gave him a contest early on, a lot of pressure, and the U.S. had to be smart defensively. It was the three-point game from number 7 of Brazil, Clemente, that really kind of put the pressure on early. Drained a couple of threes right off the bat, and the United States' solid defensive game was back on its heels for a moment. A 40-point win, a great effort again by Matt Scott. A lot of fans in attendance in Lima, Peru at the 2019 Parapan Am Games. United States with a victory here as they wrap up pool play in perfect fashion. They opened things up on Saturday. That was against Puerto Rico, 106-35. On Sunday against Peru, a 114-14 win. And then here just now an 87-47 victory over Brazil. A look at the final stats for you. Rebounds for the United States, fantastic, 39. They were 9 for 30 for 39%. Free throws, okay, 58% for the U.S., but it was really their three-point shooting and their field goals at 50% and 55% that told the story. Turnovers a problem for Brazil as they had 16 of them. And we told you about the night for Jennifer, 18 points for him, 16 for Scott, and 12 for Serio. Rebounding, Bell was a beast, and so was Jennifer at 7 and 6 apiece. Viana was good for Brazil with his 9 points, but he got himself into foul trouble early and found himself a spot on the bench for much of that game. All right, the final score, 87-47. The United States defeats Brazil. Their next action will be coming up on Wednesday with the semifinals. You don't want to miss that. We'll, of course, have all of that. The quarterfinals are on Wednesday. The semifinals will be on Friday. Gold and bronze coming up on Saturday. The United States, as I said, remains perfect with 3 wins, the only undefeated team in preliminary Group B. Brazil, with the loss, falls to 2-1. They now have 5 points. We've got women's wheelchair basketball coming up for you later on in the day. We'll also have the semifinal number 1 and semifinal number 2 of wheelchair rugby. Canada will be taking on Brazil in the first, and the United States and Colombia get after it in semifinal number 2. Throughout the day, we'll also have some action for you from the United States side in the pool and on the track. And we'll close the evening off with women's wheelchair basketball as the United States will take on Peru. I'm going to take a break, but we'll be back with you shortly. The 2019 Parapan Am Games from Lima, Peru continue here on TeamUSA.org.